Is the truth really out there? We may soon find out. Newly leaked military videos and witness accounts from former Navy pilots have taken the prospect from science fiction fodder to the halls of Congress. A U.S. intelligence report on UFOs is expected to be released very soon. NBC News Pentagon correspondent Courtney Kube is joining us now to discuss. So, Courtney, I have it in my mind that we're going to get this report that's going to give us a definitive answer. That's probably not the case, right?
That's not going to be the case. I mean, that's sort of what we've been hearing for a while now, is that this report is going to be unsatisfying to people who are looking for any kind of answers. The reality is this is an intelligence community product. So the vast majority of those aren't something that come to a strong conclusion or, have they usually deal in levels of certainty or, in this case, it's going to be relatively inconclusive. So the three options that everyone's sort of been looking at as what these unexplained these unexplained entities or are in these videos, there's three potential options. One, aliens, UFOs, something from another planet that's coming in and has is able to potentially even move in and out of dimensions in these videos that they're seeing. The other one is some other government that has this advanced technology, potentially hypersonics, that they are flying near these U.S. military aircraft and ships and that are caught on tape. And that's why they can't necessarily have been explained. The third one is that it's some other U.S. government technology, and that's so secret that the military may not know about it, and certainly they don't want the public to know about it. So those are the three options. These are the things that what we're told by a number of officials who are familiar with the report is that the report is inconclusive about whether it is any of those things, but it also doesn't rule them out.
Okay, so they're not saying it is, but they're also not saying it certainly isn't. But to your point of one of those three that it could be, either way, it's potentially a national security risk, and it's important to get to the bottom of. Not to mention, Courtney, we're not talking about instances that are just in the last few months. This has been going on for years.
Absolutely. This has been going on for years. And also it's important to point out that if these are some other government, like even let's say an adversary, like a potential adversary like China or Russia, they're flying relatively close to U.S. military assets. So that in and of itself presents a vulnerability, a potential vulnerability for the U.S. So absolutely, this is a national security concern. Also, if it is some sort of an alien craft, that could potentially be a national security concern as well. So I will say, it's easy to look at this and say, oh, well, maybe the government is hiding something here. Maybe they don't want to exactly tell us what they are. And there is a classified annex or section of this report that we don't know what it says, that may have more information. But the reality is here, it does seem as if they just don't know. They cannot explain what these visions are.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.